FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
What do you think was the most serious mistake the Bush administration made?
Well, I've said it, you know, it's going to take a while to probably catalog all of them because if you're in office for 8 years and you have turbulent times, you'll make mistakes. One that comes to mind for me almost immediately, though, is I think I would have liberated Baghdad 100 times over. I think it was the right decision. Our assumptions about what would be left were actually not right. We thought that we would be able to take the heads off of these ministries, Saddam's henchmen, and there would be this civil service still in place. And I remember standing at my desk saying to people, where are the oil workers? What do you mean there are no oil workers? Because the place collapsed. And we then had to sort of put in place artificial governance structures.
So you're saying we sort of collapsed it?
Well, it collapsed. I think we thought it would hold together in some fashion because they did have a civil service. But instead, we ended up trying to use the civil service, or to use our own people to be their civil service. We were therefore way too focused on Baghdad. You know, for a people that believe in federalism, you would never, if you live in Gaithersburg, you would never expect Washington to fix your sewer system. Yet somehow, in the way we conceived of the reconstruction of Iraq, we conceived of it as all being out of Baghdad. I think part of it is, too, that we weren't very good at counterinsurgency, and we didn't realize you don't fight the war and it's over, and then you build the peace. It's more like a continuum. In some places, you get rid of the bad guys, bring in reconstruction, bring in governance, all at the same time, and we finally got the right structures in 2005. When we put provincial reconstruction teams, which were civilians and aid workers, into brigade commands, and then they would go out and they would help the local people. So I just think we conceived of the reconstruction
I mean, I don't know what it is about counterinsurgency doctrine that every time we learn it, we immediately forget it.
Yes, that's right, and have to learn it again.
It will not stick.
That's right.
It's not,
doesn't stick. That's right.
Since the Philippines,
That's
right?
right.
It will not stick.
That's right.
But I mean, I think you would agree that in some way the premise of the success of a good deal of President Obama's foreign policy will now be the relative success of the surge in Iraq. Because if in fact that had not worked, the whole world would be talking about nothing else. America's position in the world would be very different.
That's right.
Did you, in your heart, did you think it would work?
In my heart, I was worried.
You were?
I was worried. I thought that if the surge did not work, then we had played our last card. I also was worried that I was concerned, and the president and the team, I think we got this concern allayed. I was concerned that more troops were a good idea. I always thought more troops were a good idea. But they had to do something different. We couldn't just keep doing what we were doing with more troops. And I think the counterinsurgency doctrine that David Petraeus and Ray Odierno and some other generals who had been there and come back developed so that more troops meant something different. It meant population security as a goal, not just security for military people. It meant being able to go out into the provinces and do this work. I think that's why it worked.